You know exactly why you came here. These are the 10 coolest Pokemon in the history of the franchise. Absolutely no foreshadowing whatsoever. At number 10, we got Big Daddy Garchomp. If you were to ask any Pokemon trainer which Pokemon left them so scarred that they had to take their console to their friend's house in order to find a solution for Cynthia's personal god of destruction, you know exactly why Garchomp deserves a spot on this list. The only time that I've been more stressed playing Pokemon is when I was going up against Ultra Necrozma. Okay. But this one somehow felt worse because I had Big Mommy Cynthia in the background just laughing at me. I mean, the world is essentially Spain without the S, and Cynthia knows exactly how to inflict it. Number 9 is 1000% Lapras. What else can be said about the living embodiment of the Loch Ness Monster, baby? Nah, scratch that. I would say that the Loch Ness Monster is envious of Lapras of how sexy it is. The water ice typing is just icing on top of the cake because this thing can fluff out any fire starter and snatch your favorite dragon's soul faster than Usain Bolt can run the 100 meters. I do not care if other water types have better stats, because if Lapras is not in it, the list is not complete. At numero ESPN without the Ocho, it is Dragonite. There is no way I could do this list without having the How to Train Your Dragon Tales Barney-looking motherfucker join our list. This thing may look puffy on the outside, but it will tear you a new one faster than Michael Phelps can jump right in the pool and rack up 8 gold medals. With that being said, as soon as you get one, I hope you like your water at room temperature, because a single ice cube will send this thing out of commission into the ICU with no hope of return.
It flies! It's showtime for me!
At number 7, Alakazam. This distinguished gentleman is such a god-tier abomination that he comes to the cookout strapped with his own silverware. If you had the absolute pleasure to play the original games as soon as they released, you know exactly why this thing is so feared and admired by everybody in the community. To this day,
To this day,
this thing still gives me trouble because half of my party always ends up in the spirit world after I cross paths with it. The king of special attack is a living, breathing atomic bomb of death and despair that's ready to send all of your Pokemon into the danger zone. It looked amazing in the anime, the movies, the video games, and if it were real, I would risk it all to get one. At number 6, I'm wearing it. It's Big Daddy Charizard. Out of all the dragons that I could have put on this list, I managed to pick the one that doesn't have its typing. Whether it be through Logan Paul or all the video game developers trying to give this thing another mega evolution, Charizard is indeed one of the coolest Pokemons in the decks. The fact that I could have paid my entire college tuition with a flimsy cardboard cutout of this thing makes me both sad and very hopeful for future generations. Some people say they would like to travel back in time and win the lottery or fix a bad decision. Ya boy, on the other hand, would travel back to 1998 and purchase every single booster box in the tri-state area with the hopes of setting up my entire bloodline for life with Charizard Pokemon cards. At number 5, we got Mewtwo. This Dragon Ball Z Frieza wannabe is everything that my 12-year-old dreams could have been made of. To this day, this genetically modified blob is still my gymspiration to become the Quadzilla that I know I'm meant to be. All the while, he's still giving me PTSD with his combos of Confusion and Psychic. I would be willing to let Elon Musk get everything on his Christmas list be brought into reality if it meant that we could even get a 10% chance of seeing Mewtwo come to real life. He is in the Mount Rushmore of legendary Pokemon, and if for some reason you don't like him, there's a reason your parents didn't like you. Numero 4, we got Greninja. Listen, I come from Puerto Rico, a mystical land where millions of beautiful toads sing me to sleep with their melodies, and Greninja takes that shit to the fucking stratosphere. This thing is exactly what would happen if Conor McGregor started to train Pokemon. Holy Jesus, this thing is cool. If the fact that this thing is able to hurl out water shurikens at the speed of sound is not impressive enough for you, in the words of the great Buzz Lightyear,
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
Numero 3, none other than Pikachu. Am I doing this out of pity? Yeah, no, You thought? Listen, let's be real for a second. Pikachu is the whole entire reason that we are here. The mascot of the century had his face plastered over the damn Olympics for a reason. While this thing's third evolution is the biggest letdown since the post-credits scene at the end of the Hawkeye finale,
I could do this all. No! No!
Pikachu is 1 gazillion% deserving of a spot on this list. Not only does this bad boy have a great design, he is a ride or die in whatever generation you find him in. Those scenes in the first Pokemon movie where Pikachu is fighting itself and then trying to revive Ash with the power of friendship after he tried to Falcon Punch Mewtwo, that thing had me cry harder than Marley and me. Years of therapy and counseling could have been avoided if I just had a Pikachu rolling around in my backyard. The only bad and kind of horrible thing about Pikachu is the fact that it's a rat, so the bubonic plague in the Pokemon world would have been a lot more complicated to figure out. At the Big Daddy Deuce, we got Blaziken. The only way that I could possibly describe a being with this amount of swag is if Chicken Run, Cobra Kai, and Endeavor from My Hero Academia had a baby, Blaziken is exactly what would pop off. This bombastic Firebird is the only thing that I needed to wreck the fuck out of my whole region and leave no trace of hope behind. I still vividly remember booting up my old Emerald cartridges just to see my old save files where I would literally solo the entire verse and have everybody crying in a baptism of rage and fire. After destroying 8 gym leaders and the Elite Four with this majestic chicken nugget, I could only think to myself, wow, this must be exactly what running the DCEU feels like. Número uno, the champion, the god, el rey de la salsa, Rayquaza. When Arceus was sitting down enjoying his lunch and his coffee and got the burst of inspiration to create this Slifer the Sky Dragon looking bitch, he went full X Games mode and did not stop until he created the most amazing piece of art his world had ever seen. Honestly, the Quetzalcoatl might need to file for copyright infringement because this thing took exactly the same vibes that he gave out and turned them up to 1,000. I know he's technically green, but he directly embodies the Black Air Force One energy and is the coolest Pokemon in the Dex by far. You see, as the oldest child, I can definitely relate to trying to stop your younger siblings from going full Planet on the Apes on each other. The fact that this Pokemon has a Mega Evolution is an insult to all of those puny mons that could have had their small chance to shine, and Game Freak said, you know what, let's make this Colossal Lizard monster into a god. 10 out of 10, it's my favorite Pokemon, I would recommend, and if it were real, I would sacrifice all of my coin and the rights to my firstborn child in order to get one. Well, that is it from me. Hope you had a fun time. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, join the memberships if you have the time and the budget, and I'll see you on the next one.